the calendar says it's June 1st, and for forecasters, that means summer is officially underway. So there's many signs that the season is here. The city pools, they're opening, school is out, and people are taking advantage of Idaho's outdoors. Another sure sign that summer is imminent, if not already here, Mormon crickets. You may have seen them on the road at this point. They are one of the less desirable markers that the summer season is here. And by the way, the term Mormon cricket, it seems offensive, but as it turns out, the people you think it would offend the most, well, they actually had a hand in naming the insects.
From what I understand and what I've researched, it actually came from settlers in 1848. They were settling near Salt Lake City, Salt Lake Valley, and they had an abundance of these very large crickets roaming the settlement and eating the wheat and their vegetable crops. Also that year, they had a bunch of seagulls that flew in and kind of predated upon the Mormon crickets at the time. So the Church of Latter-day Saints, or the Mormons, if you will, they actually gave them the name Mormon crickets. So they're responsible for their common name.
Those seagulls were commemorated for taking down the crickets, referred to as the Miracle of the Gulls, with a monument in Temple Square in Salt Lake City. As for the insects, they move in bands and can travel up to 1 mile a day. If the insects didn't gross you out enough, their eggs can live in the soil for 20 years. But as it turns out, even for experts like Brad Stokes, the crickets are an enigma in one way.
Entomologists, scientists, ecologists have kind of been trying to predict their population from year to year, which makes sense, but nothing has ever correlated ever. So depending on the weather, the rangeland habitat, the migration, the natural enemy population, microclimates as well, we get these population spikes. So it's basically impossible to predict when we're going to have a population explosion of Mormon crickets in Idaho. They have a unique reproduction where there is a nuptial gift. It's a spermatophore from the male, and the female feeds upon that. The females have very long sword-like ovipositors, so that's their egg-laying tube, and they lay their eggs underneath the soil in probably September or October. They're flightless, and they can have a varying amount of colors. So you can have black, brown, red, green, even almost purplish crickets.
Okay, if you're planning on driving through southern Malheur County, watch out for these guys. The sheriff's office says Mormon crickets are starting to make their presence known. Mormon crickets love that hot pavement and can create slick, hazardous road conditions when they gather in large groups. Disgusting. So be cautious and don't hydroplane, and maybe even turn up the radio so you don't have to hear that crunch. I can't. Okay. The sheriff's office says to be prepared for changing traction if you are heading through that area. Well, we see a lot of change throughout our time, but one thing remains true. It's the annual return of those crickets. As John Miller learned, it's a sight for some sore eyes in this 208 region.
You know it's bad when they have to put up a road sign.
Yeah, actually I saw that down there and said slick road ahead. Crickets. I'm going, okay.
Of course, where most of us would just see bugs.
I see bait. I see free bait. He'll stand still. Oh, missed him.
Bob Lambro, a predator in his own right.
Yeah, I hope to fill this bottle.
Turns out Bob really wouldn't have a problem, because just up the road, that sound you're hearing? That ain't popcorn. I can say one thing's for sure, Bob. You're gonna need a bigger bottle.
I am gonna need a bigger bottle.
Oh yeah, you got a dozen at a time.
Yeah, I don't, they just come to me now.
The mass of Mormon crickets and other wingless longhorn grasshoppers running amok on this runaway truck ramp. Individually, no match for a Dodge pickup, but all together, one wiggly brown wave.
Oh man, here they come.
Yeah, if you could herd them this way. Why I didn't bring a net, I'll never know.
Oh man.
This is fodder for Stephen King.
Or anyone else who pulls over and recalls stories of past infestations.
They were so thick on the road that they had to chain up to come up the other side of the hill.
And the seagulls were actually chasing them down and eating them. And the seagulls were so full they couldn't fly. We had to slam on the brakes not to hit the seagulls.
Of course, no one's slamming on the brakes for these guys. And for Bob,
That's 20 fluid ounces of bug.
so beware of the crickets on the roadway. And watch where you step.
Whoa!
Quit crunching them, John.